Can we stop your neglected sourdough starter from being forgotten forever? Hi, I'm Annette, micro baker in Chicago and owner of Dough My Goodness Bakery, and I'm here to help you simplify sourdough. Maybe your once vibrant sourdough starter that you nurtured with such love and care at the beginning, it's fallen into a state of total neglect. The once bubbly magic has turned dark and hoochie, and the aroma has gone from pleasantly tangy to downright sharp yuckiness. Don't worry, it's not too late to bring her back to life. With a little bit of TLC, you can revive even the most neglected starter. The first step is to give your starter a thorough cleaning. In order to do that, we need to discard most of it. Now, what ratio you start back your feeds with really depends on how long it's been neglected for and what ratio she's used to getting before she became neglected. Let's pretend this starter's been maybe sitting in the back of my fridge for 2 or 3 months. I would discard all but 10 grams and give her a 1-2-2 feeding. So 10 grams of starter, 20 grams of flour, 20 grams of water. And when you're doing a revival, I recommend that you use whole wheat flour. Whole wheat contains more nutrients, and that will really nourish that neglected yeast and bacteria in your starter. Once you've fed the starter, let it sit at room temperature until it peaks. I want you to give it the same exact feed again when it reaches peak. Then I want you to continue feeding your sourdough starter at peak. This is called peak to peak feedings. It's a great way to strengthen a neglected starter. And you're going to gradually increase the ratio that you feed it, which means gradually decreasing the amount of starter that you carry over. And you'll continue to increase the ratio gradually as long as it's doubling reliably. So if it does really well at the 1-2-2, you can move to 1-4-4 and then to 1-6-6. Keep feeding peak to peak and keep gradually ramping it up until you get to 1-10-10. However, if you notice at any point that your starter is starting to struggle to double, keep it at that previous ratio for a few feedings to let it gain some strength. Within a few days of this consistent peak to peak feeding, you should start to see that poor neglected starter transform back into a vibrant, thriving culture. Once it starts doubling reliably at 1-10-10, you're ready to transition it to a once-a-day feed following the instructions in my pinned video, how to properly feed your sourdough starter. The key is to be patient and consistent. Reviving a neglected starter takes some time and persistence, but it's so worth it to have your trusty sidekick back in action. Before long, you'll be baking up incredible loaves again, just like the good old days. So, can we stop your neglected starter from being forgotten forever? With this revival plan, we sure can. Happy baking.